So this week I've been making soap for my family's Christmas presents, and I thought I'd show you how to make them or give you some ideas of how to make them so you can make them for your family, colleagues or friends too. So you'll need a knife and a chopping board, a microwave, which is helpful to melt the soap, a jug to put the soap in, some rubbing alcohol, and then I got some dried fruit and flowers. I've then got some dyes for soap, some essential oils, some melt and pour soap so I can just melt it, some moulds ready to pour my soap into, so I've got two different types here. I've got some bubble wrap, you'll see how I use that later, and then I got some oats, so this can be like an exfoliating scrub kind of effect to your soap. And here are some more scents and essential oils from the other year when I made soaps for my family and friends for Christmas, but I thought it would be useful this year with the whole coronavirus pandemic. Useful gift to make. I'm going to start by opening my tub of soap, and then I just go round the edges with the knife to make sure that the soap isn't stuck to the edges. Be careful on this, I'm not great with a knife, as you'll be able to see, and in the corners it's really tricky as well. And then I just go down or across the soap and score it so I know where I need to cut it, because I'm going to cut them into squares. Now that you've cut around the edges to ease it away from the sides, you should be able to just tip it out like this, and then where I've scored along the bottom, I'm just cutting them into slices, and then I'm going to cut those into smaller cubes. The smaller that you cut the cubes, the less time it takes to melt in the microwave. And also depends on how much soap you put into the jug in one go, depends on how long you'll need to melt it for in the microwave. Just pop those in the jug and then we can put those in the microwave in a few minutes. Before you put the soap in the microwave, spray your soap moulds with the rubbing alcohol. This is to stop any air bubbles around the edges and also to stop the soap from sticking to the mould. I wanted to use lots of dried flowers and dried fruits this time around when I make the soaps, because last time I just added colours and some artificial scents like coconut, Parma violet, pineapple, different things like that. So this time I've got some lemon slices. I'm not sure what kind of flowers these are, but they're dried. Then I got some forget-me-nots, which I'm going to mix with some lavender. The lavender smells divine. I absolutely love it. I was actually thinking about making some pillow spray mist with it as well to help with sleeping, but I have no idea how you make that. So any leftover lavender, I will have to look up how to do that. And then I've got some rose petals that you can break up or keep them as a rose bud. And then these little lovelies are little jasmines. I haven't got any jasmine scent, whereas I got rose scent and I've got lavender scent, but I'll think of something to mix with that. But I think they'll look really pretty on the soap when it's finished. And then for this final soap, I'm going to use some oats. So it's an exfoliating soap that you can use in the shower. And I'm going to keep this one quite natural, so it's like oats, honey, that kind of thing. You could actually put real honey in. I put my soap in the microwave at 360. I did put it on for 2 minutes, but I kept an eye on it to make sure that it didn't bubble and boil over, because that is when you lose the moisture of the soap. You can see by my time on the microwave, it literally just took over a minute, that's all. It should all be pure and melted. So now I'm just adding some lemon scent and then some like yellowy sunset kind of colour. Mix that all up and get that poured into the tray quickly before it starts to set. So as you can see, this first soap is going to be all lemon based. But I haven't filled it all the way up because there are going to be layers of different colours. Make sure you get all that soap out, don't waste any, and also you need to wash your jug in between each lot of soap batches that you do of different colours and different scents, otherwise it just goes all gunky. I sprayed some rubbing alcohol to get rid of any air bubbles, and then to follow through that, just give it a little shake to make sure that it's gone to the edges and to get any air bubbles out. In goes my next lot of soap. Again, just keep an eye on it in the microwave. There is another way that you can melt soap, but I can't remember how you do it, and I just find it so much quicker and easier. And so now I'm just adding some like orangey kind of colour, just on the next layer of the lemon soap. You obviously don't have to add colour or scents, you could just add dried flowers to it, but I just think it just adds that little bit extra, and soap that smells amazing. Honestly, the lavender soap, and I've got some eucalyptus scent which is going to smell amazing later on. I cannot wait to use them. I added another lemon so that whichever way you use the soap, you will come to a lemon sooner or later. And I believe that the dried fruit exfoliates your skin at some point. That's what I believe. I'm not sure, but we'll soon see. I'm going to come back to this soap later. I want to add some more yellow to it, but I'm going to use that same yellow as I am on the soap for the oats. So rather than doing two lots of melting, I'm just going to melt it in one go and pour it on later, if that makes sense. I really wish that you could smell this right now. So I have melted the soap, added some dried lavender scent, and some purple colouring. And oh my god, it is amazing. I can't wait to try this soap. I'm making this one for my mum, so I will be using it quite a lot. Next up is a rose scented pink soap that I've just made, and that goes with the dried roses, and then it also goes well with the flowers, I thought, with the rose scent, so I'm sharing that between the two bars of soap. And then added some purple to the flowery one because I wanted this one to have stripes of solid colour. So then I will leave that one to set a little bit and come back to that again like I am with the lemon. This white soap that you can see on the screen is just literally the soap melted that came in the tub. I don't want any scents because in a minute I'm going to add a different colour, and that's going to have the eucalyptus scent in it. But I also want to mix it with some blue soap as well. So I added blue as my last layer to the flowery one, but didn't add any scent. And then after I'd done that one, I added the eucalyptus so that you didn't have that overpowering eucalyptus mixed with the rose in that flowery one, if that makes sense. You need to add quite a lot of scent at the time when you've got your melted soap and you add, I don't know, 7 to 8 drops. It smells really strong, but when the soap sets, it doesn't smell as strong, so you can go a little bit overboard with the scent. Maybe 10 to 15 drops. It's up to you. It depends how strong you want the smell to be. I am hoping that this soap will have like a mottledy, marbled effect. When I took it out later on in the video, it didn't seem to have that effect, but we'll see when it gets used. It'll be interesting to see what it's like in the middle of the bar. I love how the jasmine flowers rose to the top and they look like a branch with blossom on. It's really pretty. Again, for this one with the oats, I just added the plain soap melted, no scent and no colour. And then I did another layer where I added some yellow and some honey scent, but you can actually add pure honey, which I did last time. I'm not quite sure why I added honey scent this time. Not sure. But I added some of this to the lemon as well because I thought honey and lemon should smell divine. And for my finishing touch, I cut a piece of bubble wrap to the size of the soap mould, and I'm just going to place this on top of the soap and push it down gently to create a honeycomb effect at the end. This was the first time I'd done this, but actually it turned out really well, or the way I was hoping it would. Onto the chocolate mould. That is my favourite mould, and I'm just going to spray this with the rubbing alcohol again, like I did on the other mould, and then I've mixed some soap which has chocolate smell, which is amazing, and then brown dye, but this dye didn't work as well as the last time I did it. I used a different brand, so I don't know if it's got different colours to make the brown, but it came out a very light brown, more like a beige to be honest. I couldn't get it any browner. I kept adding brown and it just wasn't going any browner, so I gave up on adding more colour. So I just poured this into all of the moulds and then it should look like chocolate at the end. It doesn't matter if the moulds overfilled a little bit. We can sort this out when the soap has set. It just means that the edges need to be smoothed down a bit when you take it out of the mould. Now that my 2 soap moulds are filled, oh, and just to let you know, those 2 soap moulds were filled from one of these tubs. So this one tub, I'll link it in the description box below, does enough for 6 big bars of soap and 9 shallower bars of soap. But before I went on that little ramble, what I was going to say was now that these soap moulds are filled, they can be left for a few days to set. Ta-da! So this is 3 days later, I think I left them for. And here are my chocolate soaps. They came out like a chocolate bar. This is my favourite. Can you see why I love them? And the smell as well. It smells just like chocolate. But you can see on this one, it overflowed a bit in the mould. But I'm just bending the extra bits because they're quite thin. I'm just bending them forwards and backwards. And then they break off quite easily. And you can use these spare bits as small soap whilst you wash your hands rather than having a bar of soap. You can also smooth these edges with some paper towel. Just rub along it and actually smooth down the edges and you'll get your nice shape again rather than that jagged edge on the soap. And then look how pretty these are. Okay, the lemon didn't come out as much as I thought it would. The soap's got underneath, but I love the lavender, the soap, and the eucalyptus one. They're my favourite ones out of these. And you can see the effect on the honey and oat one. You can see that I got that honeycomb effect. And then the oats in the white soap remind me of when you have Weetabix and it's all gone to mush. And I guess technically it kind of is like that if the soap was milk, but it has that kind of effect to me. That's what it reminds me of. Then I just got some paper towel to smooth down the edges, as you can see here on the honeycomb one. This is what I was on about with the chocolate bars. The paper towel just gets rid of any rough bits. It's like using sandpaper really, but on a smoother, smaller, more gentle scale. And I'm going to show you how I package these as well to give you some ideas of how you might like to present them. So I went on the computer and I made some labels. So my labels have that they're handmade for you on them, and then it says by me, well, my name, and then it has an individual picture. So I've got flowers, honey, lemon, lavender, and eucalyptus on the labels. So they're all personalised, and there's a little message on there about Christmas. Last year, because it's for colleagues, I put something like please do not eat, and what is inside the soap in case there's any allergies. But that's just what I do on my packaging. To find out what size I needed the packaging to be, I measured the shortest side of the front of the soap, the depth of the soap, and times that by 2. So I had 6 centimetres across the front, 3 centimetres across the side, and then again another 6 centimetres and 3 centimetres, so that my card could wrap all the way around the soap, and I added a little bit extra so it could overlap a bit. As I did individual pictures to match the scents of the soap, I had to go through and find my lemon one to match this lemon soap. And then all I'm going to do is just wrap it around the soap and then secure it in place with some sellotape. Last year I had double-sided tape, but I couldn't find any in the house until after I made these. So I just got some sellotape and put it in a loop and then put that in between the 2 bits that joined together around the back of the soap. I did that to all the soaps, and then the bit that was overhanging I did miscalculate a little bit because I was converting centimetres from inches and I obviously got it slightly wrong, so I just got some sellotape to overlap that one bit and stop it from sticking out. And then for the chocolate bars, I wrapped them in brown paper to package them slightly differently. Or I could have made them like a proper chocolate bar and wrapped them in foil and then a thinner piece of paper. I'm thinking like Kit Kats, where you have that silver foil and then that red wrapper. I could have done that, but instead I did a ribbon wrapped around it. Last year or the year before, whenever I made them, I added a sticker and said chocolate on it, but added do not eat because it smells like real chocolate. Obviously it doesn't look quite like real chocolate, but you never know. These soaps are great fun to make because you can always make them different and you learn new things each time. So last time I didn't use dried flowers and dried fruit, but I'm really glad I did because I was able to create different effects to last time. Last time I did like stripes and marbling effect and some other effects. Oh, I did some kind of heart effect. I can't actually remember how I did that, but you just learn new things. And when you work it out, that tub that I bought cost me £6. I did buy a tub for £5, I believe, the last time I made it. But that does make quite a few soaps. So like I said, I've got 6 big bars of soap and then I've done 9 small bars of soap. So that is much cheaper than buying a bar of soap in the shop for about £2.50. I really hope that I've inspired you to make some Christmas gifts, soap maybe, but I have some more Christmas gift ideas coming up next week and the following week, and I hope that you subscribe to my channel to check those out.